Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. I am Christina Ferrando, the Head of Academic Affairs at the Yale Center for British Art, and it is my pleasure to welcome you back to the YCBA after a long period of closure. We are thrilled to welcome you to one of our first in-person events since we closed for building renovations in 2023. I hope you will admire our light-filled galleries when we reopen to the public this Saturday, March 29th, and that you will join us this weekend to see the new installation of our collection, as well as our two special exhibitions, JMW Turner, Romance and Reality, and Tracey Emin, I Loved You Until the Morning. Today, I am delighted to introduce Harry Weller, Creative Director of artist Tracey Emin Studio, alongside Kalia Brooks, the Interim Executive Director and Director of Programs and Exhibitions at NXTHVN. In his multifaceted role, Weller not only manages the business operations of Emin Studio, but for more than a decade, he has worked in creative partnership with the artist. He is a regular presence in Emin's painting studio, where he engages as a creative counterpart, challenging and questioning her throughout the artistic process. He actively collaborates in planning and curating exhibitions and participated in organizing Emin's current exhibition, I Loved You Until the Morning, at the YCBA. Kalia Brooks' role at NXTHVN, an arts incubator, gallery, studio, and community center founded by Titus Kaffar and Jason Price, and located in the historic Dixwell neighborhood of New Haven, is equally varied. Brooks is responsible for the design and delivery of curatorial exhibitions, public programs, artist projects, community engagement initiatives, and the learning environment for NXTHVN's fellowship and apprenticeship programs. Today, the two will talk about working with artists, fostering artistic careers, offering support, and sometimes provocations. This conversation has been inspired by our exhibition on Emin's paintings. With that in mind, I do want to note that the content of today's conversation and some of the works of art may touch on themes of sexual assault, abortion, and other medical procedures. Please feel free to step out of the room and return at any time. I encourage you all to come back to the museum on Saturday, our official reopening day, and spend time in the show. I would also like to thank my colleagues at the museum and in academic affairs for helping organize this event, in particular Gemma Field, Claire Tonks, and Jen Collins. Lastly, please note that the symposium is being live streamed. It is also being recorded and will be posted to our website at a later date. When we arrive to the Q&A, for those of you joining remotely, email your questions for speakers to ycba.research@yale.edu. For those of you attending in person, please wait for a microphone before asking your question. It's now my pleasure to turn things over to Kalia and Harry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christina, for that lovely and warm introduction. Thank you all for joining us this afternoon, braving the damp and rainy weather to be here with us. It's really wonderful to be this space with you. Thank you, Harry.
Pleasure. Thank you.
For engaging in this conversation and holding space with me today. I'm really excited to have a conversation about supporting artist practice. Obviously, because that is something that my career has been built around, your career has been built around, and it is something that is at the core of NXTHVN's mission. And so it's really special to have a talk that highlights the scaffolding of a creative practice. You don't see that very often.
Good way of putting it, scaffolding.
And it is such an integral and critical role for an artist practice. And so I want to start really at the beginning. If you can talk a little bit about your career trajectory and how you came to be the creative director in Tracey Studio.
Of course. Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming out. So I, at school, the only thing I did was art and history of art. I studied art, history of art, business studies, and history. I got a U in history. I got a U in business studies.
What's U mean?
U, ungradable.
Okay.
The only thing I did was art. The only thing I cared about was art. The only thing I was missing rugby. I was missing chapel. So we had to go to chapel every day. I was missing sports. The only thing I cared about, my true passion was art. I realized this, I think, from an age of, I was 12 at my school, my pre-prep school. I was asked to do a art scholarship. And I think we'll go back to later on sort of as a child, the influence that you have and to find your passion, and the role of a teacher or a role of a parent, etc. But it was then I realized that art is my thing. I was 13 and asked to a scholarship, and they hadn't asked anyone in 100 years of my school to apply for an art scholarship to my next school. So I thought, oh, this is it. I then was at school and then had my sketchbooks confiscated. My housemaster, who was a very strict geography teacher, rugby, straight talking man. And you wouldn't confiscate someone's English literature. You wouldn't confiscate someone's geography. You wouldn't confiscate someone's, I don't know, maybe music. I don't know. But art, I called up my mother and I said, look, he's confiscated my sketchbook. She came storming in. And that was really the sort of beginning. I messed up all my A-levels, but full marks in art, full marks in history of art, because that was all I cared about. Then I met Tracey at an opening in 2009. So I've been with her for 16 years, and I met her at her show at YCube, Those Who Suffer Love, YCube Mason's Yard. My godfather, Johnny Burgess and Ed Godrich, they knew Tracey, and they took me to the show, and we asked if I could have a week's work experience with her. And she said no. First of all, she doesn't like men in the studio. Then there was a lot of women in the studio. She was making a lot of embroidery and applique, and typically that was sort of women's work. And I understand her sort of cautions around men. So she then said, look, you can't come for a week. You have to come for 2 weeks. So I thought, okay, great. And I knew the magnitude of Emin then. I knew that, I didn't understand the magnitude, but I knew the bed, the tent, sort of the sad shower drawings in the Tate collection, all these drawings, and I was really drawn to them, the autobiographical work. I was making work about myself, my thought patterns, my beliefs, etc. So I kind of had this connection, but I didn't understand the gravitas of who she was at that time. So I was this sort of cocky 18-year-old that joined the studio then and said, yeah, sure. She said, you have to clean the loo. And I said, yeah, I'll clean the loo. So I was sort of then thrown into the thick of it. Yeah.
Did you go into the studio as a means for it to somehow inform your own artistic practice? Is that the way you were thinking at the time?
Yeah, I always wanted to be an artist. But at school, they told me you can't be an artist. There's no money in art. So you can't apply to art school. Go and study graphic design. I didn't want to study graphic design. I did. I ended up applying to Leeds University, which is in the UK, to study graphic design. But then again, that was another reason why I applied for an internship with Tracey, because I did not want to study graphic design. I wanted to be an artist. I didn't give a fuck about the money. I didn't care about the money. It wasn't about money, but the school, for some reason, put this idea, you can't make a living of being an artist, which I think, again, is wrong. It's, if it's your passion, why then hinder someone from doing what they love or even discovering themselves through something that they love? So that was an eye-opener for me, and I sort of pushed back and I said, no, screw you to your graphic design. And I stayed with Tracey. Yeah. And so then I did study art, fine art, because I still wanted to be an artist with Tracey. And I did study fine art at university whilst I was with her. I went to Wimbledon University of Art, which is part of the UAL system in London. And I only went 1 day a week because the rest of the time I was with Tracey. I was learning more with Tracey than I was at art school. There was a point where I regretted that. There was a point where I thought, God, I should go in and, really give it my all. But being with Tracey, and a journalist asked me in Palazzo Strozzi, where we have a show at the moment, a journalist asked me, what have you learned from Tracey? The one thing you've learned from Tracey. And it took a minute, but actually the one thing I learned from her pretty quickly is that I don't want to be an artist. And actually they laughed as well, but there was so much. I was distraught when I suddenly realized that I don't want to be an artist. I was really upset because my whole sort of childhood from aged 13 told, this is what you do, this is what you can do, up until 18 of me wanting to be, this was my journey. I was really upset when I thought, fuck, I'm not going to be an artist.
I want to talk a little more about that. Can you expand on that realization?
Yeah.
but
For sure.
why did you decide?
Yeah. So I made work and I hid it under my bed, which doesn't make for a successful artist, I would say. I made work about the way that I think. I make work sort of about my own mind, which is very similar in many ways to Tracey's work. And we all have our cross to bear, but I made work about my life experiences, just as Tracey was, but I was making it before I knew about Tracey's work as well. It was a cathartic way of making for me. However, I was embarrassed to show my work because it was too personal, and I'm afraid of criticism. Yet I'm very good at criticizing, so it was. Yeah, it was a strange one for me, but I took this realization that actually to be an artist, you need to have this thing. I call it this thing. You need to have this conviction. You're the first salesperson of your work. If you don't have that thing, if you're lacking it, and I realized I didn't have it, I didn't want to waste my time. I can still make work for myself, but to make a living from it, it wasn't for me. I'd make work and I do it for myself. It's cathartic. I put it under my bed. I still do that. I can make on a small scale. I still do that when I have the time. But for me to expose myself and to put myself out there in such a way, it didn't interest me. I didn't want to be criticized, especially for something that's so personal. So for that thing, I was lacking. And I'm glad I realized it because I didn't waste time. I found my purpose, I think, with Tracey and supporting an artist and pulling and pushing and provoking in a totally in a critical way just for the better of the art.
Yes.
Like my priority is the art. And I say that to Tracey, and she misunderstood what I said once because I said to her that my priority is your work, Tracey. You come second. I care deeply about Tracey Emin as a person. She has many people that support her personally around her, many, many people. There are very few people that don't have an ulterior motive. I don't. I support her work and I believe in what she has to say with every fiber of my being. I genuinely believe that's why I'm there. I wouldn't be wasting my time, 16 years of my life, if I didn't believe in what she has to say was important. And the fact that she's standing the test of time, I believe, and she's in the history books now. And to be part of that is amazing.
You've touched on a few things that I want to come back to in the conversation. One of them being that thing, because there are some artists in the audience that I can see. But for those who I don't know, I just want to take just a quick poll. How many artists are in the audience? You just raise your hand. And I think that this conversation is particularly useful and important to those folks.
Yeah.
Relative to all of the kind of textual things that you're referring to that don't necessarily have a specific word to put on it, but it's a sensibility. It is just, kind of air.
Absolutely.
That one sort of taps into. And so I want to come back to that thing.
Yep.
But then I also want to talk about the distinction that you're making around you supporting her work, right? Not her as the artist, but the work. What does that support look like?
So when I first started in the studio, there were about 16 or 17 of us. It was a sort of a big operation. Operation's the wrong word. It was a team. And there were only girls making the embroideries. And Tracey would tell the girls, she would give them the stitch, the color, and she would always oversee, for example, when they're making the embroideries, she always said there was no stitch that she couldn't do herself, that the girls were making. And she would obviously be involved throughout the whole process. She would sit there sewing as well. And there was a beanbag all the girls used to sit on in the studio. Then there was someone dealing with press. There was an archivist. There was a studio assistant. There was a studio assistant. There was a studio manager. There was archivists, assistant. Like there were many people within the studio. And Tracey and we are very similar in many ways in the way that we think. We're very similar in the way that sort of the art history that we like and our morals. We're very dissimilar in many ways. She's a very, very unique woman, but we have this understanding. And so my role now, from going from 16 to 17 people, it's just myself in the studio. She has got a PA who deals with all personal matters. And then there is wonderful Joe, who is sort of the gatekeeper to the house, and he sends FedExes and etc. He has an important role. But my job, it ranges from archiving every single piece of work that she makes. So if she was to do a drawing now, she couldn't give it to someone. She would have to give it to me to put a little number on the back. I then condition report the piece of paper if it was on a piece of paper. I would then take the dimensions. I write on the database what's going on in the scene. I would ask her if I wasn't sure. I'm pretty aware of what she's drawing at the moment, so I can make an assumption. But that was it back in the day. I would then archive that we respect, and not alongside artists that and she trusts me to do this. She's given me sort of full reign. And if I make a mistake, that's on me. But it's my job to then determine where she should be placed within the history of context or history of art in that context, even in publications. So I do, if I don't agree with sort of the alignment of the image she's next to someone else, then we don't need to be in that publication. It's just about elevating her and putting her in, it's not elevating, it's putting her where she deserves to be. And there's a lot of, there's a lot of work that goes in with that. So archiving and then image requests. Then I also work as, you heard, I'm very involved with curating all the shows that we do. So the one in Palazzo Strozzi, which is on at the moment, Sex and Solitude in Florence, I was very, very hands-on on that. And actually that was my first sort of major show that I did in connection with Arturo, the director. But she trusts me to take on that responsibility because I'm sort of one step away from her work. She has an attachment because it's so personal, but I'm one step removed. So I have the personal because I know her so well. So I have an understanding of what she wants, yet I have an understanding of what everyone else wants, and the curators what they want.
And what's your position within the curatorial framework?
So, I love it. I love creating dialogues with her work. I work very closely with Martina, who curated the show here. It really excites me because when we say goodbye to a painting in the studio, that's another part of my role. So 99% of the time I'm there, and we can go into this more when Tracey paints. So it started from one evening actually. I think I was 19, and again I was cocky. I was this young boy that didn't really understand the magnitude of her. And she asked me, "Oh, I'm going to go into the studio. Do you want to have a glass of wine?" I said, "Yeah, sure. Let's go and sit in the studio." So we sat in the studio, had a glass of wine, and I loved the painting that was already on the wall. And Tracey then stood up, painted, did her thing. And then she goes, "What do you think?" And I said, I think you've ruined it." And she went, and perhaps not many people have said that to her before, but I was telling my truth, the way that I felt, the way that I was responding with her work, the way that I was connecting with it, having known her as well and knowing the story behind what was going on with that painting. She then said, "Okay," and then she changed it. And then she went, "Oh yeah, okay. So and I always say I'm not right and I'm not wrong. My job is purely to serve as an antagonist, just to question, challenge, especially when the work is so personal." So we argue, which is healthy, I think, for any artist. I think you need to have that critical feedback. Everyone does, not just an artist. You do, we do, I do. We need to have that challenge, be provoked and questioned. I think it's healthy for every human being. But when Tracey is in this moment of this close to the canvas, literally she is a foot away from the canvas and it can happen in an instant. Step back, Tracey, just have a look what you're trying to say. If she disagrees, great, we then go from there. She says, "I like it because of this." A title may come from it. For example, that might be the title of the painting because she's explained it in some other way. Or or she wants to go further because it's too haunting. For example, there's a painting in this show that was made in 2017, and she painted almost like a dead body. It was this black bruised figure, really moving, really haunting. The body was dead, but she felt as though that was a premonition and it was too real to exist in the world, even though I said, "You cannot touch that painting. It is beautiful. It is," but then I have to respect her. She's the artist. She couldn't let that painting live in the world. She could not let that painting exist because it was too heavy for her. It was too real. And it's weirdly, a couple of years later, and then we were faced with her mortality and having to have this life-saving surgery. So she often looks at her paintings, but jump in when you need to.
For sure.
She always says that her paintings are like going to see a psychic, and you never go to a psychic wanting to know something that you already know. You go to a psychic because you want to learn something new about yourself. So she treats and she hates the word practice. She treats her artwork or making in this way. So she would often start with a sort of caveman drawing, is what we call them. And a drawing can survive if it genuinely surprises her. One of the reasons why I respect her so much is because she challenges herself constantly challenges. If anything comes too easy, it almost risks being destroyed. She can paint her classic reclining nude with her eyes closed. Doesn't interest her. The galleries will go crazy for this painting. The galleries, they could sell it 20 times. It doesn't matter. If it doesn't challenge her or surprise her, and would never destroy a painting ever. She's never destroyed a painting ever. Once, I think she's torn up a small canvas because the layers were so much, actually, it just wouldn't work. But what I mean by destroying a painting is by painting over with white. And there's so much action within the white. It's not just about erasure. There is action within the white. And what I mean by, as in she waits for, or it's like seeing a psychic. So what we do is she does a drawing. If it doesn't surprise her, paints over it with white. And we sit there. Sometimes we turn the canvas upside down, 90 degrees, 180 degrees. We run around the studio. She's like a whirling dervish in the studio. It's like me capturing her, like moving her around, stopping her. It's a real force, a real energy, especially before her surgery. So the fact that we sit there and watch these paintings come alive, it's the lines that are underneath that dictate the next line. She waits there for the line to tell her next move. So it could have been her classic drawing underneath this cave woman drawing, as I say. You turn it upside down, then paint it over white, these lines start to come through, and you then start seeing, you might see a cat on the end of a bed, for example. She might see her mother, who is standing by the side of her bed, and it was just previously the foot, for example. It is literally her subconscious, something telling her the next move. She feels as though it's like a force behind her, and she is just this medium painting. And I tell you, and it sounds bizarre, but I am there most of the time. It is this automatic, it's unbelievable. And I still, 16 years later, it's remarkable to watch. And to be part of that is incredible.
I love hearing you talk about her work and just being, I am picking up you being in that energy and that motion with her. She must also adore listening to you talk about.
Adore? Oh, adore listening to this?
Well,
or
yes.
in the moment? In the moment, sometimes she hates it, but again, I'm not right, I'm not right. It's just that it's that dialogue.
Yes.
It's just that dialogue,
Yeah.
especially when it's so personal. You know, she's talking about someone that she was madly in love with before her surgery. Like, who am I to then comment? But I can comment from knowing her story and then comment on how the painting is giving itself to the audience. I can relate to that and what her story is trying to say, what she wants to say. So that's where I can come in and play my part.
Yeah.
So again, it's like it's her story, but is that story then conveying? Sometimes it doesn't even matter if it's important to her. For example, I remember every single ground. Sometimes as a painting, we leave grounds of paintings 5, 6, 7, 8 years. There's one of these paintings from 2005. She waited 10 years to finish it, which we'll come to later. There's 10 years of waiting because the grounds mean so much to her. For example, there's another painting in the studio in London where just by chance, it appeared to look like curtains. And it really reminded her of the moment that her mother's coffin went into the crematorium. And so that was important to her. And like no one would have this on the wall. It's just literally drips from left to right. No one, but Tracey's understanding of that importance and that meaning to her, it's important to exist. It can exist. Whether or not that's finished for the wider audience or not, that's down to Tracey. But for now, it exists and it's in her living room. Maybe she'll paint over it. Maybe she won't. Maybe it'll become something completely different. It's funny that painting there in the middle here is actually in the show. This one on the left. That's the beginning.
Which one?
The one on the left. That one there. Yeah. So that's in this show here. And that was a really challenging painting to then tackle and move on to the next part because the drawing was so good. So that's when it's tricky because the drawing was brilliant and it just happened immediately. It wasn't a shitty drawing. It wasn't something that didn't didn't give her something, it was like, whoa, you know, this is brilliant. It was a, you know, these two people in an act of lovemaking. So that's really tricky then to then push to the next stage. So sometimes I have to not convince her, but just go on, tackle it. We have got plenty of canvases. She can afford a new canvas as well, but it's just about getting to the next stage. If not, and she loves it, I would never tell her to paint. I would never force her. She doesn't, you know, it's not like that. We'd put it into the archive.
Yes.
And then again, these grounds, they last for years, and they'll come back and there'll be something else.
Earlier, you were talking about that thing
Yes.
that it takes to be an artist. Can you expound upon that? What do you mean by that thing?
Yeah. Tracey ultimately was the first salesperson of her work. Tracey, and all artists are essentially, why should a gallery believe in you? You know, why would one buy your work? So you're selling yourself to a gallery. You're selling yourself to a curator. I had none of that. That is what I mean by one of the things. One of the things. There's many, many, many things. There's talent, obviously. There is this sort of dedication to your practice. There is the conviction, but conviction in your own work is vital. Again, if I say I don't think that's very good, she will scream at me and tell me why it's good. And then I'm like, it's fucking brilliant. So that conviction is why, or how you, I believe, how you become one of the greats. There's a lot of things that come with it, but it's that conviction, that first salesperson, that belief in your work, that passion. Why am I making this? Why am I? Why should we look at your work? Why should I sit here and look at why should I go to a museum and look at it? You tell me why. And I didn't have that. And I realized, thank God, because I didn't want to be wasting my time. Thank God, because you can make art.
Develop that either?
No, I was very happy. I was lucky in the fact that I found this role with Tracey. But perhaps if I went to university more than one day a week, maybe, maybe. But the fact that I didn't, it sort of it worked itself out. It made sense for me at the time, and it makes sense now. But yeah, it's that thing and that conviction, that belief. And if you don't have it, then find it. If you want to be an artist, you know, it has to be in there. And I'm sure a lot of artists have it, but really search for it.
And it's a really unique thing, you know, if you go to university and you're within community and you have that critical dialogue and that feedback, and you're constantly bouncing ideas and topics and all kinds of sensibilities off each other, it happens in that space. But when you leave that space, I think that's really the void that so many artists who have the conviction, but don't necessarily have that person or persons,
A Harry.
that they can talk to, or that they can even trust to have that kind of really vulnerable conversation with.
And it is vulnerable because you, as an artist, you are giving yourself up. You are laying yourself bare, or unless I think a true artist should be doing that.
Yes.
You know, if you're really sincere, it should be, the work should be sincere. You should be bearing your soul out, doing whatever you need to do, whatever you need to say. If that's the reason why you make, is to scream and shout and just tell people why the importance of making something. It's vital. So yeah, that conviction.
How do you develop that trust? How did you and Tracey develop that trust with each other? How long did it take?
I mean, it did take a couple of years. We got on very well immediately, actually. She's got a great sense of humor. She's very, very funny. But I think I was supposed to be, on a gap year, making traveling the world, making cocktails. But then I learned that I was really, really enjoying what I was doing and being challenged by her and learning so much. So I think the trust did come over really a period of 5 or 6 years. She trusts me and I trust her. That has to work in tandem. And as long as we have that trust, I just want her to make the work, and then she trusts me to deal with press requests, image requests, all of that, obviously archiving, curating her shows. If she disagrees, she comes in, but setting up the beginning of the show. It has to be that mutual trust. If there's no mutual trust, then it falls apart. But it takes time. It's the relationship. It's strange. I'm like her child because she had an abortion in 1990. I'm a couple of months apart from the age that from the child that she would have had. So I had this strange child relationship. She's like a mother to me. I always called her art mother. But then I'm like her father at the same time. And I was telling a journalist the other day that I'm like her father. And she said, "You're nothing like Enver." And I meant not literally like her father. I meant as in I have a paternal care for her. I have such responsibility. I have such an immense responsibility for her career, essentially, along with the galleries, obviously, but I liaise with the galleries. I'm the first point of call. So it comes from Tracey through me, through to the world, via the galleries, via curators, through the market, through press, through books, through, you know, however. So yeah, that trust, it took a long time. But it's, and I think that trust allows one another to be, to have that repertoire, to have that. I'm not afraid of an argument. I would not set out to argue with anyone, but it's just for the greater good of the work. That is, period, that's it. I'm not out, you know.
I want to show video. And,
Yeah.
and I think it would be good also for you to talk through some of what we're discussing now around trust
Yeah.
relative to what we're going to see. How do I push play again?
Before you play,
Uh-huh.
so this was in 2015, and I recorded. She didn't realize I was recording, and she paints with such force. There could be a period of 6 months where she would pick up the paintbrush. She would never paint for the sake of painting. She would never draw for the sake of drawing. She would write if she needed to make something, or she would take photographs if she needed, again, to be creative. Painting takes a lot of energy, especially with her practice, sorry. Especially with her work and her making. And when I say whirl, like a whirling dervish, she was spinning around the studio. And it would be me, it's this force, and she would smack a canvas with energy. She would run around, swing from the bottom to the left of the corner. And our canvases are 3 meters wide. So they're not, you know, they're not small canvases. And sometimes they're a diptych, so they're put together. So this, again, was before her surgery, and it's just a glimpse into, and normally I find it quite naff when people show images or videos especially of artists painting. I think it's a bit like, and so does Tracey, she finds it a bit odd. But this is really important because you understand the energy behind her work. You understand that the rawness or the power and the enthusiasm, and this painting is called I Said No, and you'll see it afterwards, but this painting goes back to the moment when she was raped as a teenager, and you can feel the energy. So you can play
And play the video in entirety?
Yeah, and it's short. So that next one. No, I think back, actually, sorry. One more. There it is. So that painting, I Said No, and you can read the text just faintly in pink on the top. I Said No. That energy is often within the studio. Sometimes it's not. It's not always like that. It's not always the fact that she's a force and she's angry and she's surviving. It is literally an argument with the canvas. It's an anger. It's a disagreement. It is anger at her experiences, anger at the world, anger at what's going on at the moment. So she is very political in many ways, as the personal is political. So her personal becomes political. And someone said she's not political. She absolutely is. And she is absolute feminist as well. And but this painting, again, that energy, that paint, originally the ground was from 2005. And then one day, the courage to attack it. And she actually said to me, she called me up and said, "Why is there a hole in this canvas? Why is there a hole in this canvas?" And then I showed her the video. Thank you. That's why, because you punctured it. Anyway, we've got a good restorer. I fixed it. So this painting is in the show here. And you can see as well, there's text at the bottom. This painting has had its journey. It's thrown itself around 180, 90 degrees. It has survived as grounds, and then until the moment it's ready to leave the studio. So again, it's her line. I believe her line actually makes Tracey. It's from her writing to her neons to her painting. It's that distinctive line. It's that flow. It's so unique. It's so distinctive of Tracey. Her monoprints, everything comes back to the line, I believe. And here's a really great example. Just by a few gestural marks, a few like whips of the brush, you then see this woman in agony with one breast, the faint outline of her head and her leg raised. And then what was underneath, which is an erased part of text, becomes this blood between her groin. So that moment, that was it. That magic captured, that was it. She never set out to paint that picture. It just happens. If it wasn't successful, she'll paint over it again until it captures her that moment. And we both go. And that's why I think I'm rewarded in that sense of being in the studio. It's difficult, don't get me wrong. It's challenging because we're in the studio from 6 p.m. till on average 3 a.m. It's only evenings that she paints. And I think that's because the studio quietens, the emails stop, the dinner invites stop, no one's knocking on the door. So it allows a time and a space and a headspace for her to just focus, and we are in complete silence. And that used to be the south of France. She's got 3 studios, Margate, London, and the south of France. South of France is a tiny, tiny studio, sort of 3 meters squared, but that's where she was most productive because we would just be locked in a studio in the hills with no Wi-Fi, no signal, just in the studio. And she would be painting, 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 painting. And then we'd come back and there'd be a whole body of work. But then there may be a period of 6 months where she wouldn't pick up a paintbrush.
I'd like to hear you talk a little bit more about the disharmonious moments,
Yeah.
those good fights that you get into, because I think that they are so important. I think it's a critical skill to develop as an artist, how to have that conviction for your work, but then also to have the discernment for when you may be receiving feedback that isn't necessarily productive or constructive for what it is that you're trying to do. And I say that because at NXTHVN, for example, our organization, we are a fellowship program in the Dixwell neighborhood here in New Haven, Connecticut, for artists and curators. We focus primarily on underrepresented artists and curators. And a lot of the artists and curators that we work with oftentimes have the biggest challenge in that critical space.
Right.
Because it is, in lots of ways, if you don't have the people that you can trust, it's a very violent space to be in. And I just want to hear you speak a little bit more around developing constructive ways to fight for your work.
Yeah.
That was not planned.
She was fighting for a while there. So again, I'm not right. I'm not wrong. I am just pulling from what I know from her life. It's different maybe with Tracey because the work is so personal and it's autobiographical in a way. It is about her life experiences and universal experiences, love, loss, suffering, and sort of wanting. It's the universal things that humans experience, illness and etc. So she's always going to be, she is right in a sense with whatever she wants to exist in the world. I would never say, you can't show that, you can't. If I say, I don't think that's clear enough. And like I say, she would then be able to justify it. And that's what I mean with an artist. They should be able to justify if they are right, but listen to the feedback, just listen to it because, just to step back, have some perspective, get out the studio, come back to it. Just have that perspective is healthy, and listen to someone else's opinion. Whether you believe in their opinion or not, just listen to it because it may take it somewhere else. You may get a title from it. You may make something else, the next work, following that feedback. So it's not like we argue. It's just about, it's caring and pushing and getting the most out of the time in the studio. And yeah, she's brilliant. So, but I also know when it's not working. So I'll never push her. I know that. There's moments, and then maybe I'll hand her a small canvas, and she'll work on a small canvas. Or again, since her surgery, so she went through a life-saving surgery in 2020 during the lockdown. She had her bladder removed, most of her vagina removed, her lymph nodes removed, part of her colon removed, and essentially her ureters were redirected directly from her kidney out through this stoma on her side. So some of these paintings are from 2024. The earliest is 2007, when she represented Venice Biennale. But the 2024 paintings, you can see this this stoma. You can see this sort of puncture mark on the side of her abdomen. So it's kind of a new reality for Tracey in terms of painting and making work, because that energy, like you saw in that video, it's not always there. So you have to capture those moments. If she's feeling up for it, I'm there. I'll come down to Margate. She's like, Harry, I'm going to get in the studio. I'm there. You know, you grab those moments. It may not come again for another 5-6 months, but you make the most of it. And it could be 3 nights in a row. And then it may not happen again. So if she wants to make on a large scale, now, but she physically does not have the energy. Again, not in these paintings, but in some of her recent paintings, she wants to work on a large scale. I'll pull up a chair, for example, and she'll stand on the chair and she'll draw this very, very intricate pattern, tiny, tiny little flowers that she's always been making since her days at the Royal College of Art, where she studied painting, because she's Turkish Cypriot, and so she collected these rugs. She's always had this collection of rugs, and so she draws these intricate patterns from said rugs, and they're now making more of an appearance, I would say, in her work. They've always been there, but now more so because she doesn't have this energy.
Yes.
She doesn't have that capability. So when she wants to make on a large scale, this allows her to attack the canvas, but in a really intimate way. So you have this sort of duality of the passion, the energy, and then this delicacy, which adds another dimension, I believe, to these new works.
And I'm taking us through some images of NXTHVN, because this is another point.
Which I loved, by the way. Thank you.
I'm so
Yeah, I
glad.
was
that
very,
you were
very
able
moved
to
by
make
it.
that
Yeah.
happen, because that's another point of alignment in terms of the work that we do. Is, you know, we also work for artists that are deeply invested in supporting careers of burgeoning artists
Yep.
and curators. And so I want to have you talk a little bit about TKE in Margate and the program are you running that program?
No, so
Okay.
that's one thing I can hand over to someone else. So yeah, my responsibility is sort of Tracey's career, but then Alyssa Cray, who is brilliant at her job, runs the schools at TKE Studios. So TKE Studios it was once Margate's old bathhouse. So as you can see above Tracey's head there, it says men. On the other door, it was women. So it was a bathhouse, and the building had a charge on it, and by that I mean it sort of had business rates. You couldn't open it and be a studio, or it had to be some sort of business. And Tracey was going around, which I think it was her good friends Rob and Carl, who are based in Margate as well. Carl Friedman and Rob Diamond, who have they have counter editions in Carl Friedman Gallery next door to Tracey's studio. They moved from London at the same time as Tracey did to Margate, and they said, "Oh, Tracey, why didn't you open an art school?" And Tracey was like, "Oh, yeah, sure." Anyway, she then got thinking, and since she nearly died, very, very nearly died. In fact, we thought that was it for her. I had to prepare her will the night before her surgery. She went in once she found out she was on the operating theatre, I think 2 weeks later. So she then started to think about her legacy and what she wants to give back. And she was helped as a young artist and believes in helping others. She's professor of drawing at the Royal Academy of Arts in London. And drawing has always been an integral part of her practice her art. And so this building it sort of lent itself. It was this old IT center. So from being a bathhouse, it was an IT center where it had these little rooms, and it just was like, yeah, art school. And she wanted to give back to artists. She wants to give back to Margate, which is where she grew up, her hometown. She was born in London, but grew up in Margate. Left, I think, age 15 after a number of traumatic experiences that happened to her. It's the seaside town in Margate. Sorry, on the Kent coast of the UK. So she set about wanting to create this art school, so the building TKE stands for Tracey Emin Studio, and it's split into 2. One half is for sort of young but emerging artists. They could be sort of pre or post grad, but they don't have gallery representation, and it's completely free. It's free tutorials, it's free lectures, it's free life drawing, it's free studio space. And if we have a journalist that comes around, the rule is and interview Tracey, they have to go down and look at the schools. They have to go down to TKE Studios. So that's one of the benefits of actually being there. You are introduced to our gallerists, our curators, the journalists, the press. So you're exposed, which is pretty brilliant. And then the other part of the building, which is just, sorry, that was Tracey Emin Artist Residency, which is, the acronym is TEARS. So the tiers in one half, and that's now, I think it's a 14-month residency program. And then they have a end of year show, etc. They're encouraged to exhibit and sell their work. And Tracey's very hands-on in terms of life drawing, coming down and just giving them the feedback. And Tracey's strong. She's a strong personality. So you're really thrown in the deep end there. But if you can handle it and make it and listen to the feedback, then you're lucky.
That sounds amazing. I mean, it is almost uncanny how
Exactly.
similar,
Exactly.
you know, Titus and Jason's vision for NXTHVN is, as Tracey's vision is for the program in Margate. It's really an amazing opportunity, and we could continue to talk easily for another 40 minutes, but I know that we're at time. And so thank you, Harry, for.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you, guys.
And we want to leave the rest of the time to take questions from the audience. So I know you've been feverishly taking notes and formulating questions as you've been listening to us this afternoon. So the floor is yours. Yes. Supporting an art and what?
And herself as the person. So supporting the art.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. Obviously, I deeply care about her, and she's one of the closest people in my life. I'm with her and talk to her every day. I eat, dream, drink, sleep Tracey Emin. She is in my dreams. She's in my thoughts. She is in absolutely every moment of my day, whether I'm awake or not. So I deeply care about her as a person. However, my priority, so I have to make a choice. My priority is her work, because I have to defend her work just as she defends her work. I have to elevate her work in the way that I believe it should be elevated. So it's not it's her or nothing. It's both. But if it comes down to there was a good example, but I can't talk about it. But if it comes down to it, my loyalty is, and she wants that. She doesn't want, you know, she's got many people that can look after her, and I'm always there for her, always. But my priority is the work, because there's only me looking out for it, and her. The galleries, of course, but from straight from the source, it's me. And she wants that. She respects that. I hope. I think. I think there's a microphone coming.
Yeah, hi. Thanks.
Hi.
So I was wondering, like, has your comprehension of Tracey's work as a whole changed over time? I mean, obviously, it's been, what, 15, 16 years, so I assume it has changed. But have there been moments, you know, from being a 19-year-old, having the confidence of saying, like, this is what Tracey Emin's work is about, to now, have there been moments when you were sort of surprised, like, oh, I thought this was Tracey's work, but actually something else? Or have there been like these revelatory moments like that? Or could you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, again, it goes back to what I said in the beginning. Tracey is a successful artist because she doesn't rest on her laurels. She always challenges herself. And so after her surgery, she couldn't paint for a year. In fact, she couldn't even lift up a tea tray. So she, with her good friend, Carl, she made these monotypes. So she studied printmaking at Maidstone College of Art. Printmaking has always been in her, but she was too afraid to go back into painting on the canvas. So she started making these unique monotypes where you have to paint on a screen. And the screen is the size, again, the size of our large canvas is almost 3 meters in width. And she has to paint on the screen within 30 minutes, otherwise it dries. And then you pull the paint through with a squeegee, and then it's a one-off. And there's always this element of surprise with what you're going to get, because you're unaware of the layering. So it's this sort of surprise element that she found rewarding, because it often works, sometimes it doesn't work. And so when I saw those, I thought, fuck, I've never seen these before. I've never seen anything like these before. So yeah, I'm constantly amazed by her ambition, her pursuit to challenge and push herself. And again, another why I respect her is she will not sacrifice her work. Neither will I now, actually. In a museum, if we're curating and something looks bad, and someone says to us, oh, well, that's just, you can't do anything about that. We will do everything we can to change whatever that is. So it's always elevating the work in whatever capacity. And I admire her for that. So yeah, she continues to surprise me. But that medium especially, and also stopping the embroideries in 2016. She stopped making these embroideries because they were too easy for her. She stopped making the quilts because they were too easy. She started to see pound signs, she said, and it's not about the money. Again, it didn't surprise me. I admired her because nothing is for money. Everything is for the reward of what she makes, not financial. It has to be this magic moment of this element of surprise when something is made, and it's this, and it's remarkable to see and witness in a studio because it really does happen. It's bizarre.
There's a question back there, and then we'll come to you.
Thank you both so much. I've got a sort of two-part question. The first part is I'm thinking as you talk, I'm wondering about legacy stewardship and the preservation of Tracey's legacy and the role of a creative director. In the context of a brand, it's about shaping and preserving the legacy. And then that makes me think, is this a lifelong partnership for you? Do you think that it sounds like you have this kind of irreplicable relationship and it's so special with Tracey?
Yeah.
Could you ever replicate it with somebody else?
Good question. No, I don't think I could replicate this with anyone else because what we have is totally unique, even in terms of with other artists, I think. A lot of artists have this fabrication team. That's not what Tracey's about. She makes everything herself. It's a one team studio. So no, I couldn't replicate this with someone else. Am I there forever? I'm enjoying what I'm doing now. And it's rewarding to be part of, this amazing institution, this place, it's Palazzo Strozzi in Florence. And just today it was announced that we're having a show. Finally, we can announce it at Tate Modern, which is amazing.
Congratulations.
Yes, which is really exciting. And again, that will hopefully tour to these venues. So I'm challenged in a way it satisfies me for now. I can't say, yeah, I'll be there forever because I was supposed to be there for a week. So, but at the moment I'm loving what I'm doing. And I'm loving to be a part of this role. It's not the path that I thought, like I said, I wanted to be an artist. Then I wanted to be a radio presenter at one point. I don't know where that came from. But yeah, I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying what I'm doing at the moment. But legacy, in terms of legacy, yeah, she started her legacy by creating her archive really early on, and so I'm continuing that. And every piece of paper I archive. And again, I have the knowledge because I'm there. I can put in exactly the colors on the database, what the colors that she used. I can put in the underpainting, what was there underneath. I can put in the text that she wrote underneath or what was underneath upside down, et cetera, et cetera. So I have that knowledge, so it deserves me putting that information into the archive. Yeah, I hope that answers the question. Yeah, but legacy is really important. And I think if you want to make it as an artist as well, just she was amazing at this, keeping all her little, her first show. Well, actually her first show was my major retrospective because she thought she wasn't going to have another one, or another exhibition. So she's very much had this idea of legacy in her mind from an early age. But too right.
Question here?
Yep. I think there's one here.
Hi, Harry.
Hi.
Harry, Kalia, thank you so much for having this talk. This has been great. I have a question to Harry about, I guess, the conversation about the honesty in the practice of Tracey. I wonder, how is that something that you think can be captured? Since honesty and truth, it can be something so subjective and so slippery. How do you, do you have an opinion on that?
I do have an opinion on that, but it's her truth, and she is one of the most honest people. If you've ever encountered her, she will tell you exactly how she's feeling, and her thoughts. She's an open book, and everything is sincere. And the way I know that is because she tells me when we're in the studio, she tells me a painting, for example, it can't exist because it's too painful for her to look at. There's a painting here called The Ghost of You, which was her carrying her mother's ashes from her studio to her home. No one knows that that ashes painting is underneath that, but I do. You can work out a faint outline of this hole in the ground and this woman carrying this box. If you really look now, I tell you, have a look. But that image was too painful for her to look at. So that honesty and that sincerity, to me, she's not, she's not fabricating her emotions or how she feels, because I was there when her mother passed, I was there when her father passed, I was there post-surgery. I've been with her in all these sort of life-altering, changing, momentous, great, horrific moments as well. So I know and understand her, I think better than herself, perhaps. Maybe.
Thank you for that.
Anyone
Any other-
else?
Thank you very much. I am really intrigued to see what your artwork is like. Like, what do you do and how it kind of compares
so funny.
to what Tracey makes. But my serious question is, one thing that Kalia mentioned was about like these environments of being honest, but they can become violent. And I remember when I was studying fine art, I had like 15 years ago quite racist, horrible kind of feedback, which really kind of destroyed my
Right.
art. And so I was wondering, in both of your kind of institutions, like in the NXTHVN and in Margate, how you kind of produce, like, would you ever be the kind of soundboard for some of those artists that are in the studios, and how do you kind of provide that feedback without it becoming damaging?
I think to be damaging, there's no need to go, also, that's a really weighted question, but it's a good question. But I think no one's out to get anyone, and it's especially at TKE, and I know Alyssa and Tracey, she would never set out to be so provocative that it would upset anyone. It is just a question. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? It's not in a sense that honesty has to be hurtful in any way, or it's not even honesty. It's just Tracey or my honesty. So my opinion, it's opinions ultimately. It doesn't have to. It would never hurt. Unless I mean, I can only speak on what my role. I would never hurt Tracey with what I say and what she's made ever. I would only question and just challenge to pull it out more. It's pulling. That's all. If you criticism is pulling that information out from the artist and helping them. It's not about, sometimes maybe it needs to be, but I think, I mean, what do you think?
I think that's a really important question. I know that it's important, especially for the constituents that we work with. The artists and curators that come into our space are yearning to have dialogue about their work that helps undo the trauma that they've experienced. And oftentimes it shows up in a way where the dialogue is very nice. For a long time, it's a 10-month fellowship program. And we have a cohort of 9. This is just for the fellows. We have also 9 high school apprentices, but I'm just speaking about the practitioners at this point. Everyone's very soft with each other. And I know the purpose that serves, right? Because that kind of care has been lacking for the majority of their experience as artists and curators. But we really work to bring back the provocation in that you can still be caring and nurturing and also challenging. And, have an artist or a curator kind of, step back from the things that they perhaps take for granted about their approach, take for granted around what they think they're conveying, or take for granted in terms of how they interpret a particular theory, any kind of theory. And it's just really about a methodology at that point. You were saying the kind of, finger wag approach, where, I always tell our fellows that it isn't really about whether someone likes what you're doing, right? Like, you should come with the conviction of knowing what you're doing, and should be able to steer the conversation relative to the questions that you have around your own work. And if a person can't respond to those questions in a way that is useful, or the negation of it being useful, because I think that's still a learning experience in that as well, then you can take it or leave it, right? But it really starts with your ability to know what you need and what it is that you're doing. Is that our last question? Okay.
Great place to end, because I think this comment that you just made about conviction, it takes us back to the thing, right? The thing that artists have. And I think the thing also that Harry and Kalia, you both have. So thank you so much for joining us today. Thanks to all of you. Come back on Saturday, March 29th, when we reopen to the public.